All right. We'll look on the overhead real quick. We'll go and help you. First thing is, let's do this together. If you'll click on the launchscreen.xib file, that's the launch screen to the app. I want you to change it to kind of look like mine. Your last name, '*S, first game. And at the bottom, change the copyright date, year, and Rock Valley College at the bottom. And to change it, you just double click on that text box, and you can start typing and overwriting that text in the middle and bottom area. So again, it's the launchscreen.xib. Change it to look like mine, except be your last name at the bottom. Change it to look like mine exactly. And the pizza's here. And we'll show you how to do the next two. Hey, how you doing? Good, good. Yep. Oh, that's fine. I don't think they'll argue there.
All right, and you can take her down.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, sir. Yep. Put this back here. All right, once you've done that, go ahead and once you've changed that information, go ahead and compile it again. Do a Command R and run just to make sure you can see the splash screen that you just changed. It should now reflect the changes you made in the launch screen. And by the way, every app you create by default will have a launch screen. You can put in there an image, a video, whatever. But this is should reflect your change once you launch it. And then go into the games. This one I've already changed it. There's 1, 2, 3. You lose. Now I've changed the logic to be 10, which I'm probably not going to be fast enough here. Maybe so. My computer is really slow here today. Yeah, there we go, 10. All right, so first place is where? Where did I change that? The first place on the 10. From 30 to 10, where do I go? I'm in the game scene.swift. What function do I go to? Monsters Destroy, is that right? Nope, wrong one. There we go. So projectile did collide with monster. And I changed mine to be monster greater than 9, which would be 10. And so that would change that. Second one's a little trickier. What I did on that, if you go to the, well, let me ask you, did somebody get it on the second one? You did get it, okay. How'd you do it? What function first you go to? Where's it going? Where's this actually happening? What function? Add monster. So let's go to add monster. And we're at an add monster. There you go. So in the lose action, and what did you do? I'll talk about how I did it, but how did you do it?
I put a top of
Uh-huh.
class, I put a bar, and I think it monster.
Okay. So you created a var called, what is it? Monster Escape. And do you make it an integer or something?
Yeah.
Okay. And
down, back down to that lose action, the first thing I did was put self.monster escape, then the plus.
okay.
That way, one monster got out, one monster got out.
Gotcha.
And then the part with let reveal, like game overview, I wrapped that in the history.
Okay.
It just says the monster escape.
Okay. All right. I did mine a little different. As you can see, I did the first as Brandon did. I declared a variable and I called it count leave as an integer and declared it at 0. Then down in the add monster area, and by the way you find this, or way you can find this, is you can add what's called breakpoints here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go down here to say I figure out this is where it's happening on this lose action, because I see here in the lose action the game over scene is being fired and it's always false. So because of that, I knew it had something to do with that. So if I put a breakpoint here, all you have to do is click on the left side of the screen there. It puts a breakpoint. Let me show you what happens when you put a breakpoint in a function or anywhere in your code. It's going to stop it as soon as anything happens that calls that function. and it's already stopped it right now. And to walk through it, a couple ways is you can do a debug step over is what I recommend. It'll step over that function, so I knew it was right in there where it was happening. Now right now, you notice it didn't go in here because the game just started. So it's going to keep doing that. So it's too often. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this breakpoint by clicking on it and deleting it. I'm going to go inside of this let function here, inside this block, go down to like this line, or actually this line. Go to that line, which is inside of the run block, meaning something's happened. There you go. Now it's actually inside the block here, and so it stopped the app from running, and it's still in there. So I know that's where it's at. So what I did is I did an increment different than Brandon. Brandon did a increment, did the name of the variable plus plus, which works. I did the name of the variable plus equals 1, which does the same thing. Just increment it by 1 each time. And then I did an if statement. If that variable is equal to 3, the tricky thing on this was when you first start coding is you might put a single equal sign instead of a double equal sign. Single equal sign will error out, it won't run. Double equal sign on the if statement means equal to. And so this one, if count leave is equal to 3, meaning this has to go through 3 iterations of objects hitting the left side, I take count leave back to 0, and then it does its game over reveal. And so I'll go ahead and delete that breakpoint and run it now. And there we go. So again, global variable at the top, you can call it whatever you want to. Just, I call it something that makes sense to what it's doing, which is count leave. That's what I called it. And I kept the same mnemonics I talked about before at the beginning of the class. A bookcase, it's a variable, so it's a bookcase. Made it an integer, initialized it at 0. And then the function is in the add monster function, specifically in the let lose action equals sk action.run block. By the way, this function here you cannot edit. It's built into the SDK for SpriteKit. It's an SDK SpriteKit function called run block, which is just a generic run block. And once it runs that, meaning something hit the wall, I added this code on the if statement, which calls the game over. Now, let me show you a trick while you're doing your changes here. If you ever want to know where an object begins as far as its initializer, you can take and do a control click on any object name, control click, and jump to definition. It'll go right to the line where that object was defined. Okay, that way if you're in a 1,000-line code and you're on line 900 and you want to figure out what that type is, easy, you can do what I just said. Same thing with functions. If you want to know what a function's doing, you can drag it here from the top right, like I mentioned earlier, or you can actually right control click on a function like I'm doing now, this AV audio, and jump to it, and it takes me to the built-in AV function within SpriteKit of what it's going to do. And again, this is built into SpriteKit. Actually, it's built into the AV audio foundation, which you won't edit that one. Okay, so make those changes however you want to do it, whatever variable name you want to call it, it's fine by me. And I'll kind of walk around and help you get that done. And then once you finish that and it's working, I'm going to show you how to submit it to GitHub real quick, and then we'll eat our pizza, okay? It shouldn't take 5 minutes to do all that. So if you need help, let me know. And Brandon, since you're done, if you wouldn't mind helping me, walk around. And when you get done with your code each week, when you get done, you can definitely help your neighbor and get them, help them whatever they need help with. That's fine. Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to figure out if I wanted to have it there. Yeah, that makes sense because then you run the action.
Yeah, it's the code for that actually is wrapped at the end of that let statement, that function statement here. So code there for it. So yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. Yep. And this one here doesn't. It's not going to hurt anything. That's just a sequence action. It's not going to do anything. So yep, you got it. It should work once you got the incrementer in there. Yeah, that's an easy one to. Yeah, that's an easy one to for that to happen but it won't let Xcode will tell you it won't work. It won't work on an if statement. It'll tell you something's not going right. And a lot of times it will correct you on the syntax, stuff like that. I'll give you suggestions at least. So you're declaring a variable at the top of your code. Number one, number two, create an if statement inside of that let loose action run block. And that should do it. Making sure you're doing an increment inside there. You okay, Benita? Right. Need help? Oh, you're fine. Did you declare the variable already? Okay, so you're in the right area. So what you want to do is underneath the var background music player, create a new variable. And you can call it, well, you can call it what I did if you want, or you can call it something different. Just call it var space, end count or something like that. Caps E, caps C. Just end count or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. Just as long as that's something it's a counter of some type you're using. There you go. And then you want to do a colon. And declare the int type, int is a type of integer, and then equals 0. And then to easily get down to that function, you can click over here to go to the add. It should be int. I think it's caps I believe. All right. Got it? Good. Still spinning. It does that every once in a while. There you go. That should do it. Too many eyes. There we go. Now, click on the right side to get the add monster function pulled down, where it says no selection right now. You should go to the add monster. Yeah. Add monster function. And towards the very bottom, we see the let action, let move action, let loose action right there. So after that first left bracket at the end of that line, on that lose action equals line, at the very end of that line, keep going past the right bracket, then hit enter. And you'll put your if statement in here. Or first put your increment. So that what's the name of the variable? Count n or something? N count? Can't remember what you called it. There you go. And then you want to do you can do a plus plus like Brandon did, or you can do a plus equals 1. Either one will work. There you go. And then enter. And then if. Space. The variable name. And you don't need brackets in Swift like you do in other languages. So yeah. And then equals 3. And then enter. Left bracket. Enter. And then to drag those 3 lines of code below the last right bracket there that we just created, and put it in between the left and right bracket you just created. It's easiest to highlight it and then cut it. That's what I generally do, and then it'll paste automatically that way. You can go up to edit, cut if you want to, or yeah, you can do it that way too. Perfect. That should be it. Then you can go ahead and run the. So it's incrementing it. Oh, I know one thing you forgot. After the left bracket, we need to put the end count back to 0. So right inside that left bracket, before the let reveal line, put a new line there. And we want to declare 0. Put that back to 0. Yep, end count equals 0, done. Now let's go ahead and compile it and test it. See if it allows you to 3 to go off the screen before it ends. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Go down. Keep going down to add monster. You're good. The let line, let lose action equals. At the end of that left bracket, yeah. Hit enter. Then put the variable name you just created. And then you can do plus plus if you want to be easier. Yeah. And then enter. And then if statement. If space and then the name of the variable. And then you want to do equals equals.
So 2 equal sign?
Mm-hmm. Looks like, is that the right name for the variable? Okay, 2 equal sign 3. Enter. Left bracket. Yeah, and then right bracket. Oh no, just use the enter key, it'll create it for you. And just you can actually take your cursor at the end of this reveal line and hit enter, and then right bracket. I don't know if that name's right. It's not showing, it's erroring out on that name for the variable. It's spelled just like that. That would be syntax. It's syntax. Did you? Okay. Did you declare it? Go ahead and do a build. Oh, did you declare it a type? Oh no, you have to do it a type. Or you could do a self dot, one of the two. Go up to the top and just declare it a type. Yeah, you inferred it. So if you just do it to the right of the escape word, do a colon, capital I, lowercase nt. Capital I, lowercase nt. And it's that one at the very top. You just click on it, it'll put in there. Yep, that's the one. Now go back down to the bottom, and that should correct it after you do a build. Still not liking that. Why do lowercase? Why you change it? That should be uppercase. Is that uppercase? It's not uppercase, is it? Okay. That one's gone. Okay. We're going to do a self dot. So if you have to, I think if you do plus plus, you have to do self dot. There you go. Yep. There you go. Yeah, if you do a plus plus, you have to do self dot. If you guys use plus plus for your increment, you're going to have to do self dot. If you do it as I did it, you don't have to do self dot. But if you do a plus, if you do the plus equals 1, you don't have to do self dot. But if you don't,
okay, I understand the logic there.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead and I'm gonna finish this up for him. On the monster escape, you want to right there where the cursor is blinking, make it 0 equals 0 to set it back. Yeah, to set it back to 0. Yeah,
That was one of the things I was going to ask about earlier. Why do you want to set it to 0? That's it.
Yeah, it's a variable.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't leave that. It does not leave this form the whole time. That's the main.
Set it back to 0, then it would.
It's going to set it back to 0 for the count. Otherwise, it's going to be at 3 and then 4 and then 5 because it's going to keep going.
Okay, I have to rewrite this whole statement.
Do I know?
I have to rewrite that whole statement.
No, you just have to write monster escaped equals 0, right? Yeah, monster escaped equals 0. That should be it. Oh, dude, you need self dot. Yeah, because you incremented above. All right, cool. How you guys doing over here? You still need help, or?
Well, what I was wondering is, it's in the add monster button, so it's really only getting called when you're adding monster.
No, it's actually being called whenever the collision happens. That run's happening. That run's only happening when a collision happens. That run's being called only when the collision happens. On the left side. Does it work? Make sure and clear out. The end count needs to be equals 0 right here on where your cursor's at right now to zero it out. Okay, so let's do this. Looks like everybody's got theirs fixed, right? So here's what we're going to do, real quick. I'm going to show you how to submit this to GitHub. All right, so this is what you got to do. I know some of you are ending your testing here, so go ahead and end your testing real quick once it runs, and then once you've ended your testing, what I need you to do is go to Xcode menu, quit Xcode for me. Make sure no instances of Xcode are running, even quit the simulator, because it'll stay running as you noticed. Meaning I can actually exit Xcode and keep playing with my simulator if I wanted to show people stuff or to do a video of it or whatever. So anyway, go to iOS Simulator and quit that. Now, your folder that you just created for the app should be on your desktop, right? For the app that we just created. It'll be your last name, whatever the Sprite game thing is. Do what now? It should be saved on the desktop, yeah. If it's not, it's got to be somewhere on your Mac. But I think I had you create it to your desktop. If it's not there, it's probably going to be in your documents or download folder. Is it not on your desktop? No, you won't. You won't lose anything. Okay, so everybody see their folder on your desktop? Now what you want to do is fire up GitHub. And we might have timed out by now because it's been a while. But more than likely you're okay, because I think I had you guys just minimize GitHub, is that right? I think so. So what you want to do to test to make sure you're still connected is take that folder that's on your desktop and drag it into the repository. Okay? Once you drag it into the repository, you'll get this prompt here. This folder is not a repository. Would you like to create a new Git repository here? Yeah, you want to click Create an Add. So click that Create an Add button. Once you do that, this screen's going to pop up. The green stuff, by the way, on the right side means it's all new, which it is. Everything you've done so far is new in this repo. On the left side is going to be all the checkboxes of everything that's been changed, which is everything you've done on the whole project. In the summary, what I want you to do is type in your last name, game. Your last name, game. Just drag it in there. You'll get a prompt saying, do you want to create a repository of this? If you don't get a prompt, you might not be logged in.
So should I click on my name?
No, the new one, the new folder.
This one?
That's a new one.
Yeah.
That's an old one. That's the one you drug down.
Okay.
That's the one you want to drag in. There you go. Create an ad. Okay, so you want to put your name and no space, game, in the name of it, and then in the description, I want you to put the same. So last name, game, in the description. Then I want you to click on the commit to master button. And I'm not logged in, so you won't see it. It won't pop up for me. But when you do that, you should see your count pop up, I believe. Is that correct? Let me see. Let me look at somebody's shoulder here. Yeah, so his is right here. You should see your count pop up, and then a little box that says uncommitted changes. It'll be empty at the bottom. It'll be no unsynced commits. And then if you go to the repository menu, when it's done uploading, it'll show up. It looks like